Hello, beautiful people. I thought I would go through a general protocol that I do for clients when they come to visit me or when we're talking on Zoom initially, an initial consultation. And so I just thought I would go through this because I get asked it a lot. So consequently, it is meant for you to use your intuition with it because that's what I do. But this is just a basic protocol. So I'm going to try, and try being the option thing, to stick to a regime that you can follow, and then you can deviate from that. And so it makes it quite interesting, really. Well, I think it does. So bear with me. You're going to see the top of my head, and then you're going to see my screen. So there's the screen. So I have run a test. Of course, I've done the test thing, and then I'm going to go through my libraries and just run the analysis on there. So this is a new client who I've never met, who she sent me her name, date of birth, and also her a general sort of background. She's done her voice recording, and she's done also a photo. And so, of course, I am not going to do the aura analysis because basically otherwise it shows her photo, and I really, really don't want to do that. So basically, if we go out of libraries and then we start. So this is what I tend to do when I'm working with a client when they're physically with me. I'll just go through that first. So what I tend to do is I tend to go into the Sophiegos, and I will drag up the top two into the quick zap tray. Now, what I found with this is it really helps the client to connect to the actual biofeedback. And so often they can feel this. So this obviously isn't for you if you're doing a remote, but this is for when you have a client actually with. And then I also go into sacred geometry, and we have a chat about what sacred geometry can do. And also, so I do the top two and also the bottom two, and how we're all basically in this numerological, sorry, I can't get my words actually, soup, and how shapes and everything have frequencies added into them. And so then what I tend to do with that is I just tend to do the quick zap and just do it for about 2 minutes. I'm going to get it going, but so you can hear it in the background. But basically what I'm trying to do here is get my client engaged with the whole process. So I have them sitting down with earphones in, and so they can really have a feel of it. So I don't need to do that for the full 2 minutes. You can do it for 2 minutes, or you can do it for 5 minutes, whatever you feel your client is ready for, in need of, etc., etc. So I'm going to get out of that, and then I'm just going to get out of the quick subject. Right, so now we get into the nitty-gritty. What I tend to love doing is I tend to love diving into and look for root causes. Now, I don't tend to look at vitamins and things a lot of the time at first. So what we will do is we will go into the top ones, which is in the body. So this is the physical body we're looking at here. So chemical sensitivities. There's not a lot, is there? So not a lot in the top one. Now, this lady I know has some chronic health issues. She's not told me any more information, and I'll gather the information a bit later. And what I'll do is I'll pause the recording. I'll have a chat to her when we've finished, and then I'll let you know what she's struggling with. So as you can see, we have at the bottom, though, some organophosphates, perfumes, cigarette smoke, and paint fumes. I'm going to pop those into the bottom tray. I often get asked what the bottom tray, the top tray is all about, but you must have experienced that, and you've probably seen our videos about that. So I'll just get out of the chemical sensitivities, And then I'll go into the glands, because these are really, really important. Our glands are vital. So if we look at adrenal, a little bit on the high side, but not really. And so we have pineal, parathyroid, gonads. Now, hypothalamus, if someone is struggling with their weight, I will always put that in. Now, she hasn't told me anything, so I'm not going to do that. And then we can go into today's stress. Degeneration. Okay, so, and then we've got environmental. Now, that tallies with the bottom ones in the chemical sensitivities, doesn't it? And then we got kidneys, and then we got nutritional. So what I'm basically doing is I'm just building up a picture. I'm not going any deeper as yet, because I don't know anything about this particular lovely lady. And so we're just going to take the tops and the bottoms. Now, hormonal is borderline, so let's pop that in just in case. So what I'm doing is I'm mentally sort of trying to build a picture of what could be going on in my client's world. And so it does look to me like she could have a digestive issue. And so I'm just going to pop those in, and gallbladder, stomach, small intestine, mouth. I wonder if her teeth are all right. So it's just basically building a infection energetic. Now we've got virus, fungus, parasites, mold. So I wonder if she's got a gut fungus. So, and then we're going to go into infection energetic. Oh, we've just done that one. Sorry, beg pardon. Sensitivities, shellfish. What's that? Yeah, nothing major really. Egg and soy. Okay. Now it's up to you as a practitioner if you are wanting to go blind, like I'm going here, or whether you want to do a case notes with your clients, and that can really help. But sometimes if you do case notes, you could start getting an idea in your head, and it might not be appropriate. So just that you know. Okay, if you know your herbs, then it's a really good indicator, the herbs that someone is in need of, according to the highs and the lows. So for example, if we've got ginseng there, ginseng is very much a hormonal thing. It's normally male, but if someone needs ginseng, it means that the strength of their energy body is a little bit on the low side. And bearberry, bearberry is another name for uva ursi, and uva ursi is for kidneys. Now we have had kidneys come up a couple of times already, so we're going to go sooner protein saw palmetto. Saw palmetto is a male one, so we're looking at. I wonder if we're looking at someone's real need for bolstering up the male part of someone. Okay, so integumentary is skin, of course. Skin is and digestive. So we're looking, we're going down the barrel really of the digestive system, and so it's going to be very interesting. This I don't normally have no information. That's to do with and these are to do with digestion and gastrin, progesterone. Now we know progesterone, thyroxine. It's quite a mix up here. However, this is just the beginning, really. So as you can see, you just follow the highs and lows mentally, just going, okay, what's going on here? Organs, lungs. Now, because lungs has come up, now lungs could also be an emotional one, where grief and everything else, and a lot of people's lungs of late have come up a lot. So it could just be the energetic of what's going on in the world. So pancreas, digestion, of course. Gallbladder, digestion, of course. Kidneys, well, that could go with the uverasi, couldn't it? Liver slightly on the low side, heart, skin again. So we've got a couple of things here, skin and digestion. And so spinal energy, vital with spinal energy. I normally just click on the top one here with high to low and find out what we're looking at. So I wonder if she's got a lower back issue. Does look like it, doesn't it? Now it might not be structural, of course. It might be nerves to do with digestion as well. So it could be, should we have a bowel issue? So I'm just going very quickly through this. I hope if you need any more details, then we can go through that. Electrical sensitivities. These are very important, people. Really, really important, because we are all electrical beings. And if our electrical circuitry is being affected, then we need to know about it and we need to do protective measures. It doesn't mean we can never get away in our world, or seldom get away from being in an electrical soup. So we need to sort of like set up protections and things, which is of course what the genius is all about. So this particular lady it looks like she is being really affected by her home environment. As we've got the electrical appliances, fluorescent lights, radio waves, computer monitors, not so much the Wi-Fi and the cellular frequencies, but everything else in between. Okay, right, so now we go into neurotransmitters, and this again, histamine, could be allergies, GABA, again, digestive. And it looks like her central nervous system could be a little bit topsy-turvy. Now, emotional. Let's have a look and see if it's a root of it. So this is how I just play it. I just sort of have my antennae up. Okay, we could look at that. I don't put any, oops, no, we're not going into there just yet. I don't put any sort of like prerequisite on any of this. Especially the words and the emotional component. EEG. So what we're doing is we're doing the preliminaries. Okay, batch flowers, always useful to put in. So you can put as many as you like in here. I don't have any worries about putting over 100. We've got 111 so far. So I'm going back to the Sofiego, so I'm not going to not use those because they're very important for treatment. And let's have a look at meridians, and let's do small intestine, large intestine. Again, we're looking here at a digestive thing. So we're fine-tuning this even more. So we have, of course, at the top, small intestine, large intestine meridian, and then at the bottom we've got liver and gallbladder, all to do with digestion. So I think we're sort of like really honing down into what is a vital component of finding the roots of root causes. So spiritual protection, always useful. I love the spiritual protection, and some people do, some people don't, but we are all affected by various different energies around us. So someone could be physically saying bad things about us, and we energetically get affected by it. Sacred geometry, I've already talked about that. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do too much in the libraries. what I am going to find out is, right, there's a GI health panel here. Candida, not very high though, as you can see. And then we've got none of those really, but let's have a look at H. pylori. So, and then we've got Leaky Gut Assessment. So, yeah, so we could really have a gut issue here. So, I wonder if she's retaining water because of the gut issue. So I'm going to just find my quantum essences because they're my favorite. I'll talk on another video about the quantum essence meridians because they're fun. Acceptance, protect, self-discipline, sacred spark. Okay, let's just do those. So I don't really want to take you through all the libraries because I wanted you to, no matter what you've got on your Genius, I wanted you to be able to really do this. So we're in the main hold tray. So what we just do is we go into the arrow here and click on there. Then we do a begin analysis. Right. Okay, as you can see, the quantum essence has come up as really important. So we're definitely going to treat with that. But what I want to do is I just want to go into pancreas. So I'm going to go back out. And then I'm going to go back up into digestion. And I'm going to go into pancreas. And then I'm going to go deeper with entangled insights. So all you have to do with this is you find the relative, the relevant thing. So basically the pancreas didn't come up as high or low, really, not terribly, but we're going to click into pancreas and then we're going to start searching. So you can play with this, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all. I wouldn't normally do all, by the way, but this is for you guys to just see how you can really hone in and find extras to add in. So, okay, so this is what we have here. We have batch flowers, clematis, so it's an emotional component, hip pain, and then we've got homeopathics, and they're all coming up as 100%. So I'm always looking when I'm doing the entangled insights. When you do the whole matrix, it's very unlikely that you won't have 100% on anything. So instead of sort of like really going like, let's have a look at batch flowers, let's have a look at the viruses, let's have a look at bacteria. If you do the whole matrix, then you can really hone into what is the most important. So here I'm going to add in batch flower clematis, hip pain. Now that is going to be interesting, isn't it? Homeopathics, calc carb, paralysis, non-spastic rickettsia, which is a form of I don't know whether you call it a bacteria or tooth extraction follow-up. Okay, so then we're going to go back out and we're going to go into the progressive insights and go again. Okay, so clematis comes up again. So clematis is really, really important. Now, I cannot remember what clematis is, so I'm just going to have a look it up. So this is useful to be able to be doing this when I normally would have my remedy. And what I normally do is I have a favorite website that I use, and I did do batch flower course years and years and years ago, and I knew them all off by heart. But now, of course, I don't need to because I can look it up. Clematis helps those who are all too easily drift off into daydreams and fantasies about the future and the feeling that life would be better there. People in need of this remedy seem to be inattentive or sleepy and might complain of forgetfulness or a lack of concentration. Often have cold hands and feet, and of course we'd look at that as thyroid issue. But so basically what we're going to do now is, this is how I work it. I don't try and do too much all in one session. So I just click on the highs, scroll my way through, and then I'm also going to click on large intestine, glutamate, which is always useful, gastrin. Just go through what we've marked in our head that's really important for this particular. And so basically anything that's to do with digestion and food intolerances and things I'm going through, because I've picked up that we're looking at pain, as in maybe hips or lower extremities, and we're also looking at digestive issues. So this is how I'm going to treat this lovely client. And while it's going, I'm going to actually put this recording on hold, and then I am going to sorry, I'm just going to go through these. It takes me a little while to just really scroll through, because I've got a few things to look at. So anything that feels right. Gallbladder kept on coming up, didn't it? And the interesting thing is if you wanted to go really, really deep into this, what you can do is you can do this. Say, for example, you can do a 15-minute treatment. It depends on how long you want to spend with your client in the first instance. And then, right, so now, organophosphates, I think we're going to have to do that because I have a feeling it's there. And then we're just going to play. So this is going to go on for 15 minutes. So I'm going to pause this recording, and then I'm going to come back to you with information, because I know my client's waiting. And so I'm going to just do a, if I can pause this. Yeah, I think I can. So I'm pausing the recording now, and I'll come back to you in a sec. Okay, so that was really interesting. So as you can see here, I've only done 15 minutes and we've got up to 33% total percent rectifications. Now, the interesting thing is I've just spoken to my client. Now, bearing in mind, she's 65 years old and she has had severe problems with her hips, and she's actually waiting for a hip replacement. And so I just had to also find out what else was going on. And so she was saying that she'd been struggling with weight, she'd been struggling with her digestion, and she'd also had a lower back problem. And I suggested that it could be bowels and that she could be struggling with constipation, and she confirmed that. So consequently, if you look at what we've just been discovering with this, it's really an eye-opener. So you can do this blind, but you can also really, really find out what is going to be beneficial. So by chatting to my lovely client, I'm just going to do a rescan. So if you go to the top right hand corner, you've got rescan. So I'm just going to do a quick rescan and find out what the priorities are now. And so as you can see, the priorities change and the confusion comes up. Now I'm wondering if we look at the batch flower that came up, which was for sort of that life would be better somewhere else, or daydreaming and everything else. I'm wondering if there's a slight core dementia aspect to this. And so it might be something that we could really look into. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the confusion and do functional zone consideration. So we're going to go into there. So what this does is it's actually sending a homeopathic frequency through to your client of that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to drag the tissue zone, the microorganism zone. Don't ask me. I didn't mean to do that, folks, but obviously it was meant to be, because then it goes even deeper. So basically she's getting fungus stress evaluation now. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. And Lyme evaluation. Lyme stress evaluation comes up a lot. And so basically interference zone is going to go in there as well, and biochemical zone. And then what we do is we go begin analysis again. And basically we're just going through the layers for the day. And then we're going to do all the highs, because again, it's changed. So it's gone into skin, Lyme stress evaluation. So Lyme comes up quite a bit with people who have had vaccines, and especially the most recent jibbity jab. So I'm just going to go into that, and lots of highs. So with this, I would suggest you could do this. So basically you're going through some layers of the day, and you don't have to give them loads and loads and loads of things, but it's probably quite a nice idea to pick up on anything that as you scroll through that just jumps out at you. The skin keeps on coming up. She didn't mention anything about skin. Unless I asked her specifically, she probably wouldn't, because very often people forget these things. I know it's hard to believe. So normally I would do another 15 minutes or so, but what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to do 1 minute and see what difference it makes. So this is a simple protocol for you to really hone in and find out what the most important thing for that day is. Now, as you get to know your client, then what I would suggest with her, this is what I'm going to suggest to her, is she gets a QuantiCap, and then we put her through a digestive protocol for 6 weeks, and then we'll move on from there. So of course I'm going to include some pain relief, and also we'll target various different meridians. So there's quite a few different things we can do. However, what I'm going to do with this lovely lady is I will create a playlist, and I will show you that on another video. You create a playlist for a client, and then instead of having to scroll through everything, if you're doing the QuantiCap for the 6 weeks, is you can then send the playlist, and that makes life so much easier. So that is my simple diagnostic protocol. I hope it makes sense. Sometimes I can complicate things, and I try not to. So good luck with it all, and I hope you enjoy playing with this. Lots of love. Bye.